generation of comedy, and you experiencing that past generation, do you think the comedians that were, the comedians that are great right now in this current decade could kind of uphold and compete against those guys in the Def Jam era?
Yeah, yeah. Okay. When I look at the early years, you take the Bernies and what have you. You know, Bernie had been in the game for a minute, so he was like kind of seasoned. You know, Steve at the same time too. I had been working with Bill Bellamy, you know, for years prior to Def Comedy Jam, and then there was youngins like the Chris Tuckers. Okay, so yeah, you had that crew, but then as we got into the middle years of Def Comedy Jam, when we were kind of like leaving the airways, but still a current brand. I had these competitions where I had winners like Kevin Hart, D. Ray Davis, Mike Epps was coming along during that time, J.B. Smoove. You have different eras, and then there's that time when you're ready. You know, and now when you look at where Kevin Hart is right now, you see what's happening with Epps. You see what happened with what's his name, with Cat Williams, something that was very, very important. So all of this, and it was big on that round table that you had. I don't care how funny everybody is, fam. It was all about, do you have a movie? I heard it. I checked it out. And the thing is, back in the day, we were developing the Fridays, and we were developing, you know, the house parties, giving all these young comedians an opportunity to be seen, where now everybody's putting the same person in all these different movies, okay? So now what we got to do is, and this is what I'm trying to do even with Laugh Mob, is we're going to develop our films where people can, push. Evidently people going to see them, they would see Ride Along, you know what I mean? They're going to see black comedies if they're going to be funny, but you don't even have to, you could actually break new talent. So I think that it can be done again. It just has to be done again. And I'm gonna say this, and I say this because I mean it. I talk about it, and it answers your question so easily, bruh. Years ago, I went to a music convention called Jack the Rapper. There was a comedy club in Atlanta called the Comedy Act Theater, just like they had one in L.A. Big ups to Mike Williams, Gary Williams. That was happening. That's where we can see black comedy, okay? I saw a guy named Bernie Mac perform. This is before I ever went to Chicago. Bernie is the first person to fly me to Chicago to set up a showcase where James Hanna was there then, okay? Now, dig this. People know that, you know, I'm not stone-faced at a comedy club, but I don't really show a lot of emotion unless, if I'm laughing, believe me, that comedian's funny. Bernie had me on the floor. You hear me? Now, let's fast forward. That was 1990, okay? In 2000, whatever it was, I saw this young comedian down in Atlanta who I thought had a lot of potential. And since then, he's grown to be the funniest comedian to make me laugh since that day that I saw Bernie Mac. And that's Carlos Miller. Carlos Miller from Oxford, Mississippi, by way of Atlanta, from Wildin' Out. Funny like all hell. So, my thing is this. That should answer. It's still here. These guys just need to be seen, man.